Hi guys, welcome to an update video, and today I'm going to be showing all the things I picked up in the last 3 weeks, I think it was, since my last update. 3-4 weeks, and I hope you're having a great November so far, even though it's not my favourite month of the year. You know, the flu, Christmas shopping, everywhere gets busy, and the cold, wet nights, and it gets dark really early, and when you get up for work. So, but it'll be good when Christmas is here, and on a light note, all the good new releases are being put out. So first we'll get started with the newest release, and it's Lady Gaga Art Pop, which I know loads of you are going to be talking about this, and I am absolutely loving this album, because, not being too sceptical, but I wasn't very much of a fan of Born This Way. I don't know why, but even though I loved The Fame and The Fame Monster, you know, fantastic, Born This Way just didn't really do much for me, even though it had a great single release like Judas, and I also liked I think You and I think it was. But this is absolutely fantastic, and she's going in the right direction. Even though this is sounding very much experimental and more risk-taking with certain sounds and productions of this, and even the lyrics, it's very Gaga, you know, just, it's quite futuristic as well. You know, it sounds nothing like The Fame or The Fame Monster, or even Born This Way. It's a nice new sound for her. And I love the imagery as well. There's optical illusions in the booklet, if a lot of you noticed. And my favourite tracks are Venus, which is one of the more friendliest songs to listen to. Also I like GUY, which caught me instantly, and I've had it on loop all over again and again and again. I like Do What You Want, which was a good single choice. Donatella and Applause, of course. I haven't really listened to the second half as much yet, because I've just been listening to the first half again and again and again. So I need to listen to the second half a few more times to remember the whole album as one piece. So yeah, but loving it, so fantastic. Next is one that I'm very pleased about as well. It's Little Mix's Salute, which came out this week along with Gaga Art Pop. And again, their last album, DNA, I didn't buy it because I didn't really like it that much. I mean, it had a few good singles like Wings and DNA, of course, but the rest just didn't really appeal to me that much, so I didn't end up buying it, even though I like a lot of good girl groups like Sugar Babes and Eternal. But this is fantastic. It's much more my taste, and much more better for them to be more grown up and mature about it. And the R&B throwback from like 90s stuff like TLC and Destiny's Child, it just works for them and their vocals, because I know they've got really fantastic voices, especially Perry, the blonde one. And the single Move just caught me instantly, because it just sounds absolutely fantastic. It has a good beat to it. The vocals are amazing, the production, the video, just everything about that single is fantastic. And I hope it's a big hit around the world. And yeah, it's a very good R&B album, much better than their last one in my opinion, and more grown up. And I'm hoping their next one will be like this again. So yeah, fantastic, another good release. Next is a recommendation that was given to me on Last FM, and I picked up on Saturday, and it's M.I.A. Matangi. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong, I apologise. So yeah, I've always known a bit about M.I.A. over the years. Like, she released Paper Planes, which was a big hit, and the single that was released off this, Bad Girls, which was released a long time ago, is on here. So I think, even though I've heard this a few times, then it is good, but it's quite hard to listen to, even though it is really good, and the production's very well done as well. But it's just one of those albums you have to listen to a few times for it to, you know, really kick in, and so you can memorise in your head how the tracks go. It did for me anyway. So I suppose it's one of those albums that will grab you instantly, or it doesn't. So it didn't with me, but I'm really liking it, and I'm glad I bought it. It's very inspiring as well, I must say, and the artwork's really cool. So yeah, Next is another new release which came out, I think it was about 3 weeks ago, I think it's come out, and it's Katy Perry, Prism. This is okay. I love Raw. It's a fantastic song, just a brilliant single. But when I bought this, even though I do prefer this to Teenage Dream, because I thought Teenage Dream was a bit too pop, a bit. Sometimes it gets a bit too much. But this is much more calmed down a bit and a bit more mellow in a way, a bit more slower and more mature, I must say. So yeah, this appeals to me a lot more, but it hasn't really grown on me, especially the second half. I mean, it's got some really good tracks on it. I like Raw, Birthday and Walking on Air. Walking on Air is a very much like a 90s house track, which is dying to be a single choice. So yeah, who knows? And maybe I just need to listen to this a bit more for it to grow on me. So who knows? But yeah, I much prefer Gaga's new album. Next is one from a very, very unusual artist who's been pretty much top of the world at the moment, and it's Lord, Pure Heroin. Excuse me, I picked this up from Asda the week it was released, and I must say I'm very, very pleased with the result. It's very, very it's very unusual. It's just a bit of fresh air though to finally have another artist who, you know, just is doing something very quirky and original. And I love Tennis Court. It's a great track. Royals. It's just amazing how much airplay and popularity that track has had over the last few months. And also like Ribs as well. I like the way it builds up and stuff. And the artwork, even though the artwork's very simple, the book inside is glorious to look at. And it's got a nice amount of tracks. I'm looking forward to her future work. So yeah, loving it. Next is one that from a very, very much loved diva from the last few decades, and it's Cher, Closer to the Truth. I've got a lot of her older tracks on my iPods, like Gypsies, Tramps and Thieves, Believe, and the Shoop Shoop song, but I've never actually owned any of her albums until I had heard her sing on The X Factor. I Hope You Find It, which caught me instantly. She looks great, she sounds great, the song's great. And I thought I'm going to listen to the album first on YouTube because it could. When I looked at the album cover, I thought it's going to be one of those albums. It's probably going to be really boring and slow and just it won't do nothing. But it proved me wrong. I'm a bad judge of character. This is really good. It's very dancey. It sounds like it could have been sung by someone like Gaga or Britney Spears or Rihanna. Just one of those albums, and she hasn't slowed down at all. It's just amazing at 67. I think 67 she is, yeah. So my favourite track on it is Dressed to Kill. It's just got a really, really amazing vibe to it. And yeah, fantastic. Really good CDs released. Just all those I've spoke about, I've loved. Next is the single that was supposed to arrive from the last update but it didn't arrive in time, is Siobhan Donaghy, Don't Give It Up. And I love the artwork, and the disc as well is very interesting because it's like half see-through with all these patterns on it, if you can see. So yeah, that's absolutely cool, and it looks good in my CD player. And what I like about this, I love the B-side on this, because even though the chart track is Don't Give It Up, the B-side is called Giving In, which is sort of like part 2 of Don't Give It Up. So it just feels like it's continuing down the same road, so that's quite a nice feel to it. And yeah, fantastic. Next is one I found at a record shop, and it's the Human League Travelogue, their 1980 album. I've got their first album, Reproduction, and the third, Dare. So I was very happy to see this to fill the gap in between, because I loved those two albums. This continues the same route as Reproduction, you know, the very, very dark, mysterious synth pop, like the early stuff, like the early electro stuff like Kraftwerk did, stuff like that. And I'm loving it. Fantastic. I've only listened to about 8 tracks so far though, so I've got more to listen to. This was £4, so it's quite steep for a second-hand album, but I was just desperate, so I just bought it. I've been looking for it for quite a bit as well, so yeah, it was worth the money. Next is Pet Shop Boys, Introspective. I've always liked a lot of their songs, but I've never actually owned any of their albums. And I gave this one a try, and I'm loving it. think this is their best selling one, along with Very, which I'm going to buy next for sure. And even though there's only 6 tracks on this album, they're very, very long tracks, so the whole length of the album feels like a standard album length. I think 48 minutes, I think. And I love the artwork, it's very simple, quite inspiring, and always on my mind is an amazing cover, just fantastic. I love how they changed it from the original Elvis version. I think Elvis sang the original. And next I found this another record shop, and it's another Pet Shop Boys album, Blingle. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. This was one of their 90s albums, 96 I think it was released. And I like the covers where it's got like a printed on material to fit in with the whole campaign. And it's got a bit of water damage at the back, but I don't mind. I only paid like £2 for this, so I'm sure I like it just as much as Introspective. This is one I got from Poundland not long after my last update, and it's Eternal, the Greatest Hits. Even though I've got nearly all their albums, I just wanted this because I love the artwork, and it's got single mixes on here, because sometimes the single mixes are different from the album version, so I just bought it, and it's nice to look at. And next are some singles I picked up from eBay from the same seller. These are all Eternal singles I wanted, and I paid £7 for the lot, which was a bargain, even though some of them aren't exactly brand new, but I don't care. First is Eternal Stay, their first single. Next is Save Our Love. And next is Just a Step from Heaven. And next is Pair of a Woman. And next is Good Thing. And next is Don't You Love Me. And lastly is Eternal, I Wanna Be the Only One, which was their only #1 hit. This is probably the one that everyone remembers. So yeah, I'm really pleased with the result, because I love these, and I love the remixes and the B-sides, and I'm going to put them all on my iPod. And the artwork as well, I love a little bit of nostalgic artwork to keep, and yeah, fantastic, well worth the money. And lastly, we'll do vinyls. Okay, first are some 7-inches. I picked up Jane Weedling, who was a member of the Go-Go's, along with Belinda Carlisle, who I love. And this was their only biggest hit, and it's Rush Hour. And it's a very, very good 80s track. It sounds very much like a Cyndi Lauper kind of feel to it. And her voice is really great as well. Great production, and it's very catchy. And yeah, loving it. Next is another 80s vinyl, and it's from a band called Voice of a Beehive, and this is a picture disc from their single Don't Call Me Baby, and this was probably their biggest hit. And the 2 female singers were American, and the rest of the band were British, and the drummer in this was actually the drummer in Madness as well, if you'd like to know, and that's quite funny and interesting. And it's a very, very good track. It reminds me, like, well, if you like the Bangles or things like that, then you'll like this. It's very good, catchy, fun track, and the artwork's really bright and colourful. So yeah, I was very pleased to see that one. Next is Altered Images Happy Birthday. Some of you might know this one, and it's a very good 80s single hit. And this was probably their biggest hit, along with the other one they had, but I can't remember what it was called. And love the artwork as well. Quite nice, and it's very catchy, quite infectious actually. It gets stuck in my head quite easily, like happy birthday, happy it's getting stuck in my head now. Next is the Steve Miller Band, Abracadabra. I love this track, even though it's a very old song. I think it's because I heard it on an advert not long ago. I can't remember what it was for, but then I thought, wow, I love this track, I'm going to listen to it again now. And I've had it on loop since, and then I found it at a record shop, and I thought I've got to get it, because I want to keep playing it and playing it and playing it. Next is a 12-inch remix of Pair of a Woman by Eternal. It's a bit damaged, but I didn't pay that much for it, so it don't really matter. It's okay, I've only listened to it once, and it didn't really stand out that much. I'm much happier just having the CD singles, to be honest, because these take up a lot of space and I'd much rather have other stuff. So yeah, got that anyway. Next is and lastly is Eurythmics and Must Be an Angel Playing With My Heart. Very good condition. Whoever had this has certainly looked at it very well, and my Eurythmics collection's growing even more. I think it's nearly finished, I think, for now. I haven't really seen much of their stuff around the shops, so it's building up a bit slower. Great track, Love You Know It, so yeah. And that is it. My vinyls haven't been very interesting because there hasn't been nothing coming out recently. I'm just going to wait a bit longer. I've ordered some Tori Amos things as well off eBay, so that should be at the end of this week hopefully. And I'll show you my next update, which I don't know when it will be. I can't promise when it will be, so no point misleading. So that is it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the update, and I hope you're having a good week, and speak to you soon.